Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, I'm going much more in depth on the new search card that got revealed earlier this morning. I don't think this video is coming out today, but I'm going to put it out soon. You guys will know when it's here, but whatever. Here's the card, 7th Tachyon. It's a really spicy new generic search card. It's only really for decks that can either only Exceed summon or decks that don't really need the extra deck at all. But there's still a crap ton of search targets. Like, legitimately, I've got 56 different search targets that I thought were at least worth mentioning, which makes this video pretty robust. So let's go over the card real quick. Let's remind everybody what this card does. This is 7th Tachyon. It's a normal spell, hard ones per turn. Reveal any number monster Exceed from your extra deck that has a number between 101 and 107 in its name. You cannot special summon from the extra deck after this card resolves except for Exceed monsters. Also add a monster with the same type and or attribute. That's very key distinction there, that it's and or. They don't have to have the exact same type and attribute. You just need one of those two. As well as the same level as the rank of the monster you reveal. From your deck to your hand, you add it to your hand, then place one card from your hand on the bottom of the deck, or on the top of the deck. There's obviously some restrictions there. There's 5 real barriers of entry that I think are the most important to make note of. The first one is you obviously have to match the stats, right? You have to match the type or the attribute and the level to a searchable target. The second thing is, if it's an archetype, it needs to actually have a good target. Some of these, I found some archetypes that are good archetypes, but the cards that just happen to be searchable via this card just weren't the actual good cards in the archetype that you wanted to be searching, so they kind of fell to the wayside. Thirdly, you have to be able to withstand the XYZ lock. Like I said, you either need to be an XZ deck or a deck that doesn't need the extra deck much at all to make use of this card. And then, like, you could throw 2 more on there. The small one is, like, you have to put a card from your hand back into the deck. That's technically a -1, so some decks really don't appreciate losing all that advantage, but some decks are fine. And the other one would be the extra deck space. The fact that you may need to play 1 or 2 extra deck slots just to have a revealable target is a legit drawback for certain decks that are really tight on extra deck space. So there you go. That's the key of the card. We're going to get into it. You can dig deeper by looking into the 101 through 107 number monsters to see what the exact targets are. So feel free to dig in deeper there. I'm not going too much into that. I just kind of already have the options. I've gone through like literally every search I can to find targets. I may have missed anything. Let me know in the comment section down below, though, what you think I might have missed. But not going to spend too much time on any one card or archetype. Let's get into it. Sharks. This is a legit buff. From the new support, I'm only certain that this monster in this artwork here is the only absolute include into the archetype. Other than that, I'm not sure. But this card is a legit search card. It can search either Buzzsaw, the new Big Jaws this guy, or even Abyss Shark potentially. So it searches your 3 best engine cards. I love it. It's a really nice consistency boost for the deck. They really appreciate that. Umi Control. I'll even put Umi Control in legit buff. Another really good consistency searcher for them. It's a stun deck, but they have enough searchers that I think like they can actually see their stuff more consistent than just having to like hard draw some of the like hard stun decks that just like are like Fossil Dyna or Barrier Statue stun. I think they're cool, and they have some other utility that those decks don't have as well. I think it's a nice searcher for them, for sure. Okay, stun, Barrier Statues. Now keep in mind this is not all 6 Barrier Statues, it's actually only 4 of them. I believe Wind and Dark do not make the cut here. The other 4, though, you can search out. I think Water and Earth are probably the best ones right now. Because like there's a couple light decks in the format and fire. Obviously we're in fire format, so terrible. But yeah, Barrier Statues. Ships, that's casual fun. Amazement, casual fun. Lancia, fun, spicy tech. Not a great hand trap this format, but it is searchable here. So my idea here is if you're already playing a deck that already plays this card, I don't think you would play this card just for Lancia, but like you're already on a deck that like plays a target, and you could just put 1 more target in the extract. Maybe you don't care about the extract that much, and we run into a format where 1 or 2 decks in the format are Lancia weak. Even as a 1-of, like for your ROTA to search this out, it can be pretty good. Utopia needs to go in legit buff. This is a deck that I think struggles with consistency. It also struggles with like not having 1-card lines normally, so being able to find their 2-card combo pieces like much easier is pretty nice for him. I think this is a pretty good deck for this card, I would say. Bujin's casual. Exo Sister is a pretty big one, right? This is a deck that has kind of fallen in and out of formats. Some people fall in love with it, and then they go, this isn't the best shifter deck. This does help their cause. Legitimately, this helps their cause in being like, well, if the problem is I'm not finding Martha often enough, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. This does really help you find Martha much more often. Or Aratama or Sakitama as well. So there's legit utility here for sure. A deck that's so central around a main deck monster and it's all Exceed based anyway, I think this is a pretty good card here. Dogmatica. This can go in maybe, but I'm not sure. This is a weird one in that this is not a full-on deck anyway, so this is only going to work in a couple of very specific decks that don't mind the Exceed lock, because normally this engine wants to be thrown into a link-based deck, because links are so easy to make, and then it makes Ecclesia live, put a link in grave, and then your Maximus is live. Like, that's kind of what you're looking for, but you will see later, there's an option that makes this engine pretty interesting. Chronomaly is definitely casual. Constellar is definitely casual. Denko Sekka is stun to me. This could almost go in Spicy Tech for a deck that like doesn't need its normal, but is also really scared about a back row deck in the format, right? Being able to just turn all that off. But this card in its heart is still a stun card. I even think like in a stun deck, right? You would maybe, if you go second versus Labyrinth, how does this deck ever beat Labyrinth, right? But if you side Denko Sekka, right, normal into their board, that's pretty nice. Photon Galaxy. This is maybe but not sure. I think they are okay on consistency. That's not necessarily the problem. They don't have a ton of space for non-engine, and they're just kind of outclassed by like better combo decks normally. Is kind of my general vibe about the Galaxy Eyes Photon cards. So yeah. The Galaxy Tachyon stuff. I think these cards are a little more linear and really do appreciate just having like the possibility to search like anything from their engine that they really feel like they need. So there's the new crazy starter card. There's this extender card. There's, I believe, there's going to be some other targets as well. But yeah, being able to search those cards out is pretty significant for them. Inspector Border, stun. Generator. I'm going to put Generator. I'm going to take a little leap of faith on legit buff here. This can search Lopter. There are other options as well. You can search Lopter. You can search, what's her name? The Witch, Condemned Witch. We'll actually go ahead and throw her in here too for Spicy Text, because I do think we already saw her in Melodious. And also, she's a card that has been played in Generator decks before, so there's a little bit of utility there. You can technically also search Mardell off of this. I don't know if you would, but you can. Trias Hierarchy is another card if you do play Diviner in a deck. Like there's a couple of different things there, but Generator definitely likes seeing their best cards as often as possible, so that could be a potential tech there for sure. Sakitama, just good generic level 4 extender. You would already be playing it in something like Exosister, maybe even in something like Utopia already. That's really nice. Where's the other one? Gotta make sure I have the other one here. Oh yeah, Aratama. That's really nice. So yeah, this one's the 1 card rank 4. That's even better for Exosister, because it's better than just seeing Martha in hand. Yeah, those cards could definitely come up in rank 4 decks. Ryo, this is easy stun. You know, might as well bang out all the stun cards while we're here, right? Kaiko, stun. Gravekeeper's Commandant. Kind of spicy. Doesn't even take a normal summon, but you can search him, search Necro Valley. Boom. This card searches Necro Valley. That's a little scary for decks that can play that. Amano Awado, stun. King Tiger Wangu, stun. Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo, stun. Amorphage Goliath. Now this guy takes 2 tribute summons, but technically he's searchable here. Or even in a Pendulum deck that can pen him out. That's another thing. Archlord Christia, stun. Vanity's Ruler, stun, all 3 tribute or 2 tribute mons, so that's fun. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Couple spicy techs. Let's go into those next. Might as well. We're gonna change it up here. Hit these one at a time. Spicy techs. Another extra hand trap to kind of throw in there. Again, very specific to a format, but I think it's worth mentioning if we ever do run into a format with 2+ decks or archetypes. I mean, we saw if an engine comes out like the Adventure engine, and it is like played by multiple decks all over the place because it's too good of a generic engine, it's just the new hotness like Adventure was a couple of years ago. Like, is this card not worth a one-off side for when like you already have your engine but you draw the spell and you're like, you know what, let me grab this. I could see that absolutely happening. Chaos Dragon Legionnaire for decks that already play like the dragons or the rank 8 stuff. This card may already be in their deck, but to like add it as utility and just have a way to just completely decimating a board is pretty nice for sure. The Kaiju, Thunder King Kaiju, and I might as well add the other. Where's the other one that I think is super spicy to pair with this? Fairy Tale Luna. So this has actually already been a rogue deck for years now. Like we don't see it as much these days, but it was for years. Fairy Tale Luna with Kaijus, because Luna can bounce the Kaijus back to your hand, then you can Kaiju your opponent again. It's a pretty good combo, and the fact that this card can search either Thunder King or Luna is pretty spicy. So if you have one, you get the other. It adds more consistency to being able to see the deadly combo of these cards, but that's definitely something worth noting. Okay, the rest of the tech cards. Are there any other tech cards here that I think are worth mentioning? No. Oh, Retaliating Sea, again, goes into this mishmash of like weird hand traps that don't normally consistently see play format to format, but I think they are worth mentioning. If the format's good and you already play a deck that plays this card and you have the extra deck slot open, you can play one of these and then, extra searchable utility in the deck for matchups. And then the last one here is Planet Pathfinder. Technically, this card with a normal summon does just search any field spell in the game. That's doable. So there you go. All right, next up, let's finish up the casual category here. Starry Knights, if you like them, that's really fun. Valkyries also go in there. Batlin Boxers. This is pure because you can't make links or synchros, so I'm not talking about like infernal Batlin Boxers. This is just pure Batlin Boxers. Not enough. Springans definitely go in here. Geargia's a spicy one. I've been calling for Geargias to get like legit support for a while now. If they ever get a big wave, if they still stay very XYZ based, then maybe we go back and look at this card as like a really good ROTA for them. Okay, Heroic Challenger definitely falls in here. UA falls in here. Subterra at this point falls in here. They deserve to be at the top of the list. I've been calling for them to get support too. Subterra just are Guru or Nemesis Archer being their, or not Nemesis Archer, Nemesis Warrior being their best 2 level 4 searchables off of this card. They just don't do enough on their own, right, to warrant you playing this card. War Rock's definitely casual. Megalith, I think at this point can probably be called casual. And I think that ends our casual tier. All right, next up we go to the maybe but not sure side of things. Hold on, let's save this here. There we go. Maybe but not sure. Rescue Ace. This is the only reason I'm not sure is the Exceed lock. Otherwise, I like it because Airlifter's at 1, helps a little bit of consistency. The problem is this deck likes to make like link 1s and 2s, just as utility to kind of get stuff like Turbulence and Grave to set up for Preventer lines. Can't do that if you go through this, so that may be too big of a restriction. Madolche and Vernisylph, and also you might as well throw Mudora and the Earth Fairy engine. They kind of all go hand in hand. They've all been played together in the same deck. The idea here is that Madolche would have made sense prior to their new support, but one of their support cards I like is the new Link 3. That card's like significantly kind of helps what their end board is, and so now locking yourself out of being able to make that card does kind of hurt. Now, this deck also still kind of hurts from this deck can hurt from consistency issues at times, so I don't mind it. There may be a little push and pull there where you're like, you know what, it's worth it. The consistency is worth the drop off in power. We'll see. Vernisylph, there's a couple different Earth decks you could try to play, but this card does make it nicer that you're able to search whichever one you want. Sure. And then for the Earth Fairies, Mudora specifically getting Gravekeeper's Trap is spicy because as a one-off, this card now de facto coming a 4-off by playing this spell, you actually are a little bit more consistently able to access Gravekeeper's Trap and get that online, which is a pretty decent card. It is a brick, but I don't know. There's something there for sure. Okay. Oh, wait. Let's finish those. The Evilsars. This is a cool package. Just a strong package, and since it is, you can search the starter for it. I figured it was worth mentioning. Nothing out of this world, and there's no like great extender I feel like to search also for this package, but he's there. Volcanics, these kind of have the same problem that I feel like Rescue Ace does, where like they do at some point usually I think want to make a link monster, and so like locking yourself out of that is kind of annoying. Blue Eyes, again, just Blue Eyes has so many cards, and I think their consistency isn't necessarily the biggest question for them, so I'm just not sure that this is the card they like have to play. You have this guy, this is the new like Legacy of Destruction Yugi support. The problem here is the searchable card for this engine is the normal summon. And it's a normal summon that gets the engine online, but like I like this engine more as an engine that doesn't play a normal and can work alongside a separate normal summon engine to kind of like double up and get like double value. So it's fine, but I just don't love that you have to search the normal summon to get it online with this card. And the last one here is Bistro Lubellion. Again, like this is a strategy that normally wants to be seen doing synchro stuff, and so doing the synchro plays with this is a little bit awkward. Or like not being able to do synchro plays and being forced to exceed plays is a little bit awkward. To be fair, though, it is still an 8. So even in a deck like one of these Galaxy Eyes or Blue Eyes or something, being able to search a like Magnamute for like follow-up plus like hand trap, then being able to like summon the Magnamute, attempt to search, then tribute the Magnamute, and now you have an 8 on field to be half of the material for a rank 8 you're going to make, and also searching another Bestial or whatever dragon you want on end phase off of Magnamute. There's value there. So as an engine, it could see play in one of these other like rank 8 dragon decks, potentially. It's not the cleanest thing. It doesn't seem like the best use of Bestials, but it is another target, and if you're already playing a level 8, like this could be an additional engine you play there. All right, and then for the final two are legit buff archetypes. I think Teller Knights get a legit buff here. I think one of my problems with them is consistency. I was playing Small World in their deck before. This card's just better than Small World, right? You don't have to put back monsters. Sometimes you only have good monsters in hand. You don't want to get rid of any. Like, do you really want to get rid of a hand trap in hand that like adds to your board? Not necessarily. I'd rather put back this Speller Trap Brick that I drew that I don't really want. That's like I'm going to get through my combo for free kind of thing. So I think that helps there. I think this is fine. My only gripe with Teller Knights at this point is I don't think they have great one-card lines. Actually, you probably play Aratama and Sakitama, honestly, and so this making those more consistent is probably the biggest win out of it all. But yeah, we'll still take that. And then one copy of Wrap here. I think this is a good Zodiac card. Zodiac's only Exceed Summon. If you play Zodiacs with Horus, still only Exceed Summon with them in Horus. If you play the Adventure Horus Zodiac deck, again, like only Exceed Summoning really. And even if you play Dogmatica, that's another cool one as well. This is the main idea I had when I looked at Dogmatica. We've seen Dogmatica and Zodiac played together because the Zoos essentially make Link 1s the way they make Exceeds. So with very minimal investment, you make the Dogmaticas live. And I like that this card grabs the best monster starter for both engines, right? Rat Pier, Ecclesia, right? I think that's pretty nice. So I think that's a legit buff for Zodiac. Plus, Zodiac's one of those engines where, like, I don't want to play 10 Zodiacs in my deck because if you draw multiple, they can be kind of bricky. They can be kind of cringe like that if you draw them that way. And so this being a card that maybe allows you to cut down on a couple slots of Zodiac monsters so you're not drawing multiple copies. That's the same thing for the stun decks, right? Like the Barrier Statue stun. Do you want to play 10 Barrier Statues / Fossil Dynas when you could just play 6 maybe? And then between Prosperity and Duality, Prosperity, Duality, Extravagance, this card, like you have like multiple ways to find them pretty consistently, but be able to also cut down on the number of them so you don't have to brick by drawing 3 of them and then losing to like outs to the board because you're not drawing like cards that help protect the board. I could see that being a legit thing. So there you go. There's the tier list. I made this video once and it was legit 30 minutes long. I'm glad I got this down to closer to 20 minutes. Listen, I did a search on basically everything I thought that made sense search-wise on like what could come up. This is what I came up with, these 56. If there's anything I missed, throw it in the comment section down below. Also, let me know what you're most pumped about. I think for me, Sharks hits pretty hard because I was a little bit disappointed from the support we got last night. And then going ahead and seeing this card added to it really adds an extra, like, probably auto 3 of consistency card that the deck was really, really hoping for. So I think that one's hitting pretty hard for me. And I think maybe Teller Knight / Zodiac. I'm a little bit excited to mess with them even more now just because they get a little better. Teller Knights are kind of in that spot where, like, if we come back to, like, a slightly more, like, dark-oriented format again, like, Teller Knights could be a nice rogue deck now. Again, we'll see. But all in all, that's where I land here. Let me know what I missed. Let me know what you're most excited for from these searchable targets that you think it's like a really nice buff and you really want to mess with. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that stuff down below. But I am out of here for today. Let's skim real quick one more time, just to give you a good view of everything in its entirety. Feel free to pause and take a look at each individual tier. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, guys, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this from me. I also do everything Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles, news videos, combo tutorials, anything like that. So stay tuned for more of that stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.